The live stream of tonight's podcast is made possible by our buddy Ian Service over at podcastaccelerator.com.
Influenzas descend on the farm to snap the cobwebby corners in the barn, but the McMurrays start to poachin and Jiving Pete is approachin to make amends for causing any harm.
That fresh produce stand there, that's a beauty.
What do you listen to?
My favorite murder podcast.
Taggart and Torrance podcast.
The produce stand.
Fucking sexy.
It's Thirsty Thursday. That means we are once again hanging out at the produce stand. A podcast covering everything in the universe. Now, I know what you're thinking. There are many other Letterkenny podcasts out there, but this one is a little dusty, a little rusty, and a lot cobwebby. I'm Al, your host, and joining me in the room, as always, is the lovely Tanya. And online, we have Squirrely Matt, the very influential Victor, and joining us this week, they're a Discord degen, a patron from Las Vegas, and that's all we know about them. So we're going to learn more about them tonight. Please join me making some noise for Nick.
Wondrous!
Oh my gourd.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Wait. Oh my god!
I regret nothing!
Hello.
Welcome to the produce stand. Nick, how are you now?
Good and you? No?
Not so bad.
All right.
Welcome. I mean, it's lovely to have you. You're brand new to the Discord group. You're brand new to the community. You're practically brand new to the Patreon. So we really appreciate your support. So let's get to know you a bit better because we know nothing about you except you have you love pink hair apparently and cats. First of all, where are you talking to us from?
Fabulous Las Vegas.
That's amazing.
Ooh.
Wow. So do you live? Is that where you're from originally?
No. Originally I'm from California.
Okay.
But moved out here for work.
Okay. What do you do for work?
I work for a large French-Canadian company that has offices here and around the world.
Is it a circus company by any chance?
We may do some things that involve flipping and tumbling and
Oh shit.
Are you serious?
yeah.
That's amazing. So Tanya and I, with the one and only time we went to Vegas, we saw 22 years ago. It was 2000.
Oh my God, we're that old.
Or 2001 or something. 20.
Shit.
Yeah.
It was.
just celebrated 11,000 performances.
What? Okay.
Yeah.
I've got.
Just last week.
We could have a whole podcast
Yeah,
about
we could.
Like, have you ever worked on O? Yeah. We won't. But I mean.
Wow.
Like that's the kind of show, and I'm sure many Cirque du Soleil shows are the same, where no one can have a bad night, or else somebody could really get hurt.
Holy Hannah.
Well, for sure.
Yeah.
We try to make it. Everything is, as safe as it can be.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But yeah,
The Beatles one is fairly, safe, I guess, compared to the others. But
I wouldn't
still.
necessarily say that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, it's safer than the others. It's safer than the others.
Victor, you're talking to a guy who's been there. He's seen it.
Yeah.
As an audience, as a spectator.
It looks.
What is your role with the company?
I am a stagehand. So I work backstage at one of the bigger shows at the MGM Grand.
Wow.
Very cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yes, I
Very
mean, I'm not
cool.
going to lie to you. I was trying to find out a bit more about you so I can write a better intro. So I
Yeah.
did creep you on like Instagram, and I saw a bunch of like behind the scenes, like from behind like the soundboard, but I also saw a lot of like trapeze stuff. Like, you do that as a hobby or something? What?
That's it's kind of my other job. I'm a flying trapeze coach at a school here.
That's crazy.
Oh my God.
Oh wow.
You're almost not almost. You are now surpassed Dennis as the most interesting guest we've had.
Jump on the line.
It's one of those things like people say to run away and join the circus, and I really kind of did.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, you chose the right one.
So cool.
Did you
It
ever?
took a long time. I'll
That's
tell you that.
wild.
Like a long
Yeah,
time.
I imagine that's the kind of circus company that there's a lot of people vying for jobs there. So to get in must be,
100%,
that's amazing.
Admittingly, I've never seen a Cirque du Soleil show. I've always
what?
wanted to.
Shame on you.
I know it's a bucket list item. It's something I keep meaning to do. But every time they come to town, they're too expensive, or I just don't have the time.
They're expensive, but they're usually worth it. Like especially my mind is blown away.
There's a
Still to
brand
this-
new one. Yeah, there's a brand new one that's about to open, and it'll be in Toronto sometime next year.
I watched the YouTube video trailer, whatever you want to call it, on that one. And they're not going to the typical place, right? They're going. They're,
usually when Cirque du Soleil visits Toronto, they actually have a tent built down by the water, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where they're going this year. Yeah.
So have you ever been up here then for any of the shows?
I have a long history with Canada and like loving Canada, and I've been to Montreal a bunch.
Okay.
Montreal's
I spent a lot
fantastic.
I spent a lot of time in Vancouver. I haven't spent a lot of time in Toronto. I've only been a couple of times actually.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us tonight. Again, like I said, you've automatically become like the most interesting guest we've had on. When did you discover Letterkenny?
Oh, it's because I have coworkers who just wouldn't stop talking about it.
Right.
About 4 years ago, and they just kept saying things back and forth, which I was like, what the fuck is going on? And obviously I had to find out what it was. And so I started watching, and being a fan of all things Canadian, I was hooked from like the very beginning.
Sure.
So that's just kind of where I found it. And then like I found Produce Stand. I was looking for music on Spotify. I was looking for music from Letterkenny on Spotify.
Oh,
and
okay.
I found like it actually popped up in my recommendations. I was like, what the hell is this? I didn't even know people were doing podcasts about Letterkenny.
Right. Well, of course,
Like-
in every intro I say there's many other podcasts of Letterkenny out there, but we're the number one. Well, we want to be number one anyway. That's amazing. So how long ago did you start listening to us then?
Let's see, the pandemic.
Okay.
Yeah, we were in the middle of that panini, and like that's when I started listening because I had so much time.
Sure. I mean, that must have been a rough time for you and for your coworkers and
sure.
for Vegas in general, I guess, right?
We were shut down for about 18 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember your mayor, I think
history
it was,
has-
very, very vocal in the news about trying to get, whether you like her or not, I don't know, but I remember her being very public and very low vocal
Good
about,
God.
yeah, kind of a
she's
mess.
not. Fun
Hot
fact:
Yeah.
she's not really our mayor.
Oh.
Well, so she's the mayor of the city of Las Vegas, which is very tiny.
Oh,
It's
gotcha.
It's actually only about 300,000 people, but Vegas is a city of 3 million.
Oh, okay. And split up into multiple cities?
There are like the city of Las Vegas itself, but then there's also Clark County, which is part of Las Vegas, but it's
like
the
the
bigger,
greater Vegas area kind of thing.
right.
Gotcha,
It's kind of like
gotcha.
the GTA,
Right.
that kind of idea.
Yeah.
But
Fair enough.
it's not
Okay.
nearly as cold.
Amazing.
That was my fun fact. You're right. I didn't know that.
All right. Well, welcome again. Let's get started here.
How are you now?
Tonight's lineup is Al, Victor, Tanya, and Matt, and our guest Nick gets last word. I'll just quickly go through mine. I survived last week, the National Sales Conference.
I survived last week. Sorry.
The show Saturday night. I was a wreck. I was a write-off Sunday. But I mean, I've had a pretty good week all in. I mean, I'm not going to lie. It was fun. Maybe not for Tanya. I'm sure we'll get the opposite story from her, but I had a good time. We had a good show Saturday, and I can't think of anything else that's happened other than that, and then just work. So yeah, Victor, how was your week?
It's been all right. It's gone by very quickly. It's been very busy at work. It's, one day kind of bleeds into the next. I try to set really good boundaries for myself, but it's been one of those weeks where you start your day at 8 and you kind of finish at 6 or 7. And it's been like every day like that. So it's just waiting for this stupid week to end.
Yeah.
But did kind of catch up on a couple of dumb shows that people probably have been waiting for, but just from a nostalgia perspective. So I gave them a try. One is really bad, and then the other one has potential, but it's really just, it's not there. It's not the same thing.
Okay.
Do we get to guess?
Yeah. Okay, let me
Yeah.
guess.
Oh, I
The
should
really,
not
the
do
really
that.
bad one is that 90s show.
Yeah, correct. Yeah,
that's too bad. I'm really sad. I'm still going to watch it though.
So I think this is we're consistent here because I haven't watched much. The first episode I really enjoyed.
But it's a bait and hook. They just bring in the
okay.
nostalgia factor, but you're going to get stuck with those dumb young kids.
Sure.
And
Yeah, you have to really
I'm curious. Yeah, I'm curious to see it through.
Red and Kitty are probably going to stay on, right? Like
They're amazing.
Yeah,
They're amazing.
They're
they
fine.
better.
They're fine, but it's the show is based around these new kids.
Sure.
And I don't know. They're just stupid characters. I don't like them.
All right. And let me get the one with potential is the Night Court reboot.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah. So
You're good at this game.
I know Victor when it comes to this, not his MVP, but
yeah. Yeah. So we've watched 3 episodes. I think they had the 3rd one tonight, and or yesterday. I don't know. And yeah, I mean, it's you know, the problem is that Dan Fielding is the star of the show, and that's not. They need to do better, quicker character development for the other guys, because it's not the Dan Fielding show. It's Night Court. So you know, it's got potential. Plus I can't go back to laugh tracks anymore. We're done with that.
Oh, is it a laugh track?
Right?
Is it? Oh.
Well, so is the stupid 90s show. Remember, like these nostalgia shows, they can't bring them back without they can't bring them back without a laugh track. And we've already proven that we can do funny shows without laugh tracks. There's plenty of them out there.
Yeah.
But this is the cookie cutter sitcom, right? So it's not. So anyway, so the laugh track, you get used to it, I guess. But that's the one negative for both shows. But at least one has more potential than the other, and so you know, give it a try yourself. Maybe you'll have a different opinion.
Yeah.
Are they shooting them in front of live audiences? Is that
Who the
still
hell
a thing?
knows?
Like,
Yeah,
I
don't
mean,
know.
maybe that's why they're using the tracks.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. No, those tracks are not live laughters. You can tell.
But normally those sort of studio shows are live audiences, even if there's a track.
I think Matt, they used to be. I think those went the way of
Dodo.
the dodo bird.
man.
I said cuckoo bird.
They got their comeuppance.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, so I mean,
I think Roseanne, or whatever the new name of that show was, one of the last shows they actually did in front of a live audience.
Well, since we're talking about comeback shows, I was going to bring this up in the news section, but we'll talk about it here. Frasier's coming back. They're doing a sequel series of Frasier, and the reason that's going to be in the news section we'll talk about it now, is Jess Salguero, who plays Marianne on Letterkenny, has been cast in the new Frasier. So it's going to be, I think it's going to center around Niles and Daphne, and I think it's going to be kind of like that 90s show.
Can you please ask her, can you, like, I guess, what is it? What did the kids say? Slide in her DM and ask her for them not to use a laugh track on the reboot.
I mean, I love that you think I have any kind of
nice.
pull to get
Can
to
you
her.
ask her?
Yeah. Maybe I can get Toronto Mike to ask her, since he's
But then
had her
it's
on.
not. It doesn't have that same sentiment. Like it just won't carry the same. Like it won't feel like it.
Yeah, I feel like maybe they should leave those shows. Leave them be and come up with something new is what I say.
Yeah,
They were huge. They were huge shows.
Look at all these look at the new good shows, right? Like just keep making new good shows.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, I completely agree. We don't need to be rehashing these. But I got to say, some of my favorite sitcom characters of the 80s and 90s, one was Dan Fielding from Night Court.
Yeah.
And the other one was Niles from Frasier. Like,
yeah, but that show was so frustrating though, right?
Why?
Like,
Frasier?
don't you just feel frustrated and exhausted at the end of each episode?
Frasier?
That's Seinfeld.
Yeah.
No, not because of the no. I know you don't like Seinfeld. I'm talking about just feeling frustrated for Frasier because he never wins, right?
No, he never wins.
Oh,
he
I
never
see.
wins.
But I don't think
I think
Frasier.
that's kind of the fun of it.
Yeah.
No, I know, but but eventually, like you think he'd win once, but he never wins.
I agree. Aaron in the live stream says Reboot is really good. I really enjoyed that one. If you guys haven't watched
I got
that
excited for a second, and then I realized what you're talking about.
You mean the cartoon?
No, that's why I got excited and realized what they were talking about.
Oh, you didn't like you liked the cartoon, but you didn't like the live action?
I want to see the reboot, the cartoon redone.
No, Reboot is really good. If you haven't watched it, I highly recommend it. Anyway, who's turn? Tanya, how was your week?
Hi there. So my week started off Monday. Yeah, we're gonna start it on Monday. Monday, I woke up. My shoulder's just still been killing me since November. I was told by the doctor I have a pinched nerve in my neck causing shoulder pain. Anyways, I ended up calling my massage therapist and thoroughly enjoyed the pain and pleasure of him trying to fix my shoulder. It's a sick feeling because you're crying because it hurts so much, and you're laughing because I laugh when I get hurt. But at the same time, it's like you almost like lose your vision because the pain is just so intense, but it feels so good at the same time. You just know that this is going to get better.
I believe the phrase.
I feel like you're just inviting us into your bedroom right now.
Oh
I'm
man,
not sure what's happening.
It is such an intense and good bad pain. I don't know. It's anyways.
I believe the phrase you're reaching for is "it hurts so good."
It hurts so good.
The safe word is.
It's rutabaga.
Or arugula or something. I don't know.
No, it's rutabaga. Okay. Even with your mouth full, you can say rutabaga. Anyways. So I completely and utterly feel like I'm bruised and I'm even more sore, but that's what's going to happen for the next little bit. So I'm dealing with that. Our son turned 16 yesterday.
We're parents of a 16-year-old.
God
forbid.
We've got a 16-year-old.
You guys are old as fuck.
I know, right? Oh man.
Fuck you, Matt.
So that happened. We had a snowstorm yesterday.
Victor's older, by the way.
I know, but he didn't lead with my son just turned 16.
Both his kids are in college.
But we're not talking about that.
He decided he wanted a nice steak dinner, so we went out to the Keg and we really enjoyed ourselves. There was like no one there because it was a snowstorm. No one wants to go.
It was a Wednesday and it was a snowstorm. Yes, so we had our run of the place. It was great. Best service ever at a Keg. Usually they have really good service. So.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So that happened. And what else has happened? Oh, we have a birthday party coming up on Saturday for him with the family coming over, which will be the first time, oh my God, that we've had the family here in ever.
Well, your parents and my parents in the same room in at least 2 years.
Right. So there'll be stories to tell next week.
How come they don't do Sweet 16 for boys?
Yeah, sure they do.
They do what?
I refuse to do that.
Sweet
they
16,
do.
Sure they do.
But
yeah.
What are you talking about? That's a thing? I was making a joke.
I mean, some people do, I guess.
Sweet
it's
16.
not common. You don't hear much about that at least for male presenting people anyway.
Really?
No,
I thought it was like across the board.
Yeah,
Sweet 16.
Yeah. Back when I was 16.
Is it a girl?
It was only done for boys.
Only for boys?
I mean, you know what I mean. God damn you all.
All right.
May you all get a pinched nerve tonight.
This week's episode is a long one, so let's move this one along. Oh,
we haven't asked how next week.
I am.
Oh, okay.
Matt. I'm going to Matt next.
Oh, Matt. Sorry, I jumped you.
I love this. I fucking love this. This is great.
You get to watch the chaos firsthand.
I think I got left out last week too.
Yeah, but this time I was going next to you, Matt.
I know.
It's my wife who was trying. Okay, I got your back.
And you didn't even have bathroom trouble.
Jesus Christ.
You shouldn't be in the bottom corner. Come up here.
I'm on the top. I'm on the top corner of my view, so that's a you problem.
Let's go.
Do I get to go now?
Yes, please.
Okay. So first off, happy birthday to your boy there. That's awesome. Happy 16th.
Mm-hmm.
My week, it was fine. It was interesting stuff. I'm going to tell two quick things. So one, and I don't vent about this very often, but I'm going to right now. So another weird sort of interaction with my ex, and those that have been listening know that I'm separated, and I have two older boys that are primarily live with their mother. It's about a 30-minute drive from door to door to my house. And as Al mentioned, there was a snowstorm this week. So this presented a conversation that shouldn't have been something, but it became something where I was supposed to get them on Wednesday. And the day before, I set up saying, listen, I reached out saying we need to play tomorrow by ear. They're calling for a wicked snowstorm. It's probably not a safe environment to drive. But let's stay tuned. No comments. And then, of course, the day of, a couple hours before I'm supposed to get them, it's like coming down hard. And I reach out. I said, listen, just for safety purposes alone, this doesn't make sense. I'm not coming. Right. I wish I could. Of course, I want to see my kids, but it's just not safe. And it just caused this big argument where essentially there's like guilt being laid on me for not coming to see my own kids. And I'm like, and there are some points that you're making that I understood, but at the end of the day, I'm like, this is a safety issue. And I was so frustrated that you're making me feel like shit about it. When of course I want to see my kids. Right. And ultimately I didn't go. I made the call saying I'm not going. And I thank God I did, because like even my neighbor got in an accident at the end of the street. He's fine. It was minor, but like, it was so bad. Like I spent 2 hours shoveling yesterday. It was, you probably did the same. We got hit pretty hard. And, But it was just one of those ones where I'm like, I'm tired of it. I'm like, why? And I only bring this up. I don't vent about this shit a lot, but I mean, to anyone out there who is dealing with a separated situation that is less than ideal, I get it. And I sympathize, because we all want to do the best for our kids. And whenever you're put in a position where you're feeling shitty about it, and when you're making the right call on something, it sucks, right? And we all do our best. I just want to vent a bit about that, because I know there's a lot of people. There's a lot of our listeners who are in their own versions of separations, dealing with it in different ways, and everyone has their own model of it, and all your own problem. But it sucks, and you do the best you can. And that's true. Nothing really I want to say. I just wanted to bring that up. And
did you give her the blue spatula?
In my version of it, right? At the end of the day, she was still coming back, giving me shit, and trying to bring up weird points that weren't even relevant. I'm like, just stop. And I mean, my personal take on it, I often have shots fired at me. I will never return that shot. I will take that high road every time. I've had some pretty shitty things said to me about my caliber as a father and this and that. I will never reciprocate.
How long has it been since you've been separated?
2016. Yeah.
Okay. She should be over over it by now, and
and whether she is or not,
treat you with respect.
That's her problem, and I think it's one of those situations that hopefully over the years will get better, but it's not. But I have my own standard of how I will react to things. I will vent here on occasion, but I just get it. For anyone out there dealing with this kind of stuff and trying to do the best by their kids and everything, all the power to you. Love you guys. It's not always easy. On a better note, I saw my brother today. Hey. I hadn't seen my younger brother, Jeff, who is probably my best friend. I hadn't seen him since last year, spring, I think it was. So that was a lot of fun. He was coming through town doing some business stuff. So we didn't know if we were going to connect, but I know he's like, I have a few hours between my flight. So I picked him up this afternoon, and he came back, had dinner with us. It was fantastic.
Oh,
we just hung out, and it made me feel really good. Like, it was great to see him. I love the guy to death. He's doing so good. He's got a second kid on the way. It's just all good news. So that was a great way to end off this evening. And as I was saying before the show started, I just dropped him off at the airport, and now I'm here hanging out with you fine people. So things are back in right order.
Excellent.
Excellent.
All right, Nick, how about you? How's your week been?
So being someone from Vegas, my Monday is actually Saturday. So it was a busy week. It was okay. Yesterday, we're getting ready for our annual 2-week sort of maintenance start. So we take the show down for 2 weeks and then do basically all the cleaning and everything else and all the projects that we can't do during the rest of the year, because the show is running 5 days a week. So we're doing an upgrade on our dimmer racks. So on our lighting dimmers and all that stuff. So there's 12 or 13 racks times 48 to replace. And so everything's getting completely torn out. I was there till 5 this morning. I spent a nice long day in bed, and now I'm here with y'all, and it's great.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Winston, what's the name of your other cat? I called you.
I was going to say, wait a minute, who's Winston?
You called me my cat?
Yeah, you asked.
No, hold on. Maybe he's asking the cat.
Yeah, maybe the cat's going to respond. Let's listen. Let's hear for Winston. Go ahead, Winston. No,
now he decides to be quiet.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know if y'all have been hearing him, but
no.
So the other one is Tracer. That's his litter mate there. So they're both named after characters in that game Overwatch that I love. I love it so much.
There you go.
So do you interact with Danny Ellis on Overwatch?
You know what? Since I saw the episode, since I listened to the episode, I started following and watching her on Twitch because I had no idea.
Yeah.
There
you go.
She's big into that.
All right, I see you're drinking something. We all have something to drink, but perhaps we should have a little coffee before we move on. Let's listen to, which one should we listen to? Let's listen to this classic one here again.
Just like Skodude energy drink, Diabolical Coffee has a new spokesperson, me. Diabolical Coffee is devilishly good coffee and diabolically awesome swag. There is a roast for all tastes and even some you didn't know you wanted. You can order whole bean, coarse, and standard grind, and espresso. Or if you're like Al and me, there's a K-Cup option for single cup brewers. And for the duration of season 10 of our podcast, you can use the promo code PRODUCESTAND for 10% off anything in the store. That's 10% off all coffee and merch. Yes. Thank you to Diabolical Coffee and to Eric for your support.
Yes, thank you, Eric, for your support. And speaking of support, welcome new Twitter followers: Matthew Bruce Lambeth from Shawnee, Princess After Dark from Ontario, Zia, Greg Bass, Lauren Toomey from Winnipeg, John Bloodaxe, Eileen, Paul Tabor, Schofield from Oregon, Grumpy Old Man from Australia, Michelle Vera from Lima, Peru. That's got to be our first listener in Peru. Meredith Lazowski from Toronto, Scott Bodkin from New Albany, Ohio, Judy Cole, No Longer Here, Jefferson from Kansas, Adam Hickey from Tucson, Arizona, Dr. Rashid Kashani from Edmonton, Davis, Senesi Camara, Sean Barger, Charlie Villanova, Chad Monger, Alex Palombo, Ed Finiton Priam, Kelly Hessler from Washington, D.C., Chris Scarr, Newman from Moncton, New Brunswick, Josh Kendrick from Newberry, South Carolina, Maddie from California, Rebecca Trevino from Far, Texas, Dope Ass Davey from Port Richey and Tampa, Florida, Dan, Sean Savage from Edmonton, Jeremy Smith from Central Texas, Micah Matlock from Indiana, Sean from Santander, Spain, Niam from Whistler, Wayne Stansfield, Sue Bixby from Schoharie, New York, Kate Austin, Rob DeVoli from Punta Gorda, Florida, Kieran Whitehead, Jeff Old from Memphis, Tennessee, Gary Fifield from St. John's, Delaware Sparka from East Coast Hustlers, Amber Houston from Portland, Oregon, Steve Cole from Wide Lawns, Narrow Minds, and Hex Doll from Long Beach, California. Thank you for following and hopefully for listening.
Previously on Letterkenny.
Last week, we recapped and reviewed episode 4 of season 11, Nudes. That episode was the second year unicorn of season 11, getting a fresh rating from all of us, including our guest, Alistair. According to our scientific Twitter poll, which got 91 votes, 60.4% of you gave it a fresh, 33 gave it a clearance, and 6.6 gave it a compost. Really? This week, we recap and review episode 5, season 11, Influenza. Have you done your homework? I've done my homework. Victor?
Twice consecutively.
Oh, really?
Ooh.
That bodes well. Tanya, have you done your homework?
Once only.
Matt, have you done your homework?
Multiple.
Okay. And Nick, have you done your homework?
Several.
Oh, there you go.
Ooh.
Well, don't bore us. Get to the chorus.
We open. The Hicks are at Modine's 3, sitting at the bar. Bonnie's behind the bar doing something on her phone. Wayne suggests they should start regulating her screen time. Bonnie says she's doing homework. Wayne approves, but then Bonnie comes clean. She's actually on a dating app. Squid Ann questions whether she should be on a dating app while she's on the clocks.
I work all day to make a buck. Won't work all night to find a fuck.
Any luck?
Fuck boy.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck boy.
Can confirm.
Fuck boy.
You are correct.
I don't got too much time for that terms.
Fuck boy? Why not?
Well, when you add S's to the ends of things, as I tends to, that term's a Landy's Gelstein.
Bonnie says fuckboy is the term men deserve for running with tramp stamp. Squirrely Dan says he has plenty of time.
So wait, pause. Mm-hmm. She was showing her phone when she was saying fuckboy, fuckboy, fuckboy. Could you make out anything in the pictures?
Yeah, you can kind of see men's pictures.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I thought it was weird that they let us see, but there wasn't anything really to see. So I was confused.
No, it's just a quick flat. You can see that what they're seeing is men's photos, but yeah, it's pretty quick. So Bonnie says fuckboy is the term men deserve for running with tramp stamps. Squilly Dan has plenty of times for lower backs tattoos. Wayne agrees that a lot of dudes do. But just then, Alexander sidles up to the bar. This is probably why Victor watched this twice.
Alexander's?
A bladder infection means you're in trouble.
Yes! What's the frequency, Kenna? Just $110.
Oh, straight to the boards walks with you. There's Uncle's Penny's bags.
Don't spend it all in one place.
Hey there, high roller.
You sound like you're envious.
You sound like you're a fuckboy.
This little outburst from Derry earns him the... Oh, wait. Alexander says that 10 whole bucks is exactly his hourly wage.
Well, better than kicking the pants, Alexander.
You're telling me. Welcome to Easy Street.
Okay.
The land of milk and honey.
I get it.
Toot toot all aboard the gravy train.
Just leave it.
The lap of luxury, the
Right.
primrose path, a place in the sun.
Go ahead, Alexander. Have a good laugh about it. But I just made as much sitting on my butt as you do in an hour scrubbing toilets.
This little outburst from Derry earns him the stink eye from the others. Alexander is hurt. Derry defends himself, saying he wasn't trying to be a dick about it. He just thought Alexander was making fun of him. Alexander tells Derry he's already let the almighty dollar change him. Then Alexander shows him what it would actually feel like to be made fun of.
Well, better than...
Look at old Derry now, eh? He's a fat cat, a tycoon.
I didn't mean it, Alexander.
So what now, Sir Rupert Warren Chadwick, huh? High tea at Chateau Frontenac with the New England Montgomerys?
I said I didn't mean it.
What's next, Dr. Roan Reese Rothschild, huh? Croquet on the palace lawn with Lady Charlotte Imogen Aldridge?
This is just going on too far.
Let me pull up your car for you, Baron Phineas Hawthorne. Have you selected the Bentley or the Rolls for this afternoon's social?
Okay.
Look who it is, as I live and breathe. It's the Duke of Dick Bagshire, huh? Will the Duchess be joining you this evening, or is she still summering in the Cotswolds with the Huntington Beach Vanderbilts?
Oh, man, I don't know how he got to do that. Alexander grabs Derry's winning ticket, swipes his ass with it before giving it back.
Give my regards to Lady Scarlet Stella Rosencrantz, you highfalutin duck fart.
Cut to Wayne standing out in the farm saying, money changes everything, and cue the theme. All right. I think from everybody's reaction here, this was a keeper. Anyway, it's my turn first. I mean, this is a great cold open. This is automatically in a top. I'll give it a top 10 because I'd have to think about it long enough to figure out whether it'd be even higher. But just Alexander. I don't know how he got through all that. It was so good. It was so well done. That's all. I don't have nothing else to say. Everyone's reaction around him, especially when he wipes his ass with Derry's ticket. If you look at Squirrely Dan's face, he's like, it was really good. Well done. I'd give this one a fresh if we were rating it now. Victor, what do you think?
Yeah, so for me, it was kind of like the good and the bad because it was a good cold open. It's always funnier to listen back and with a group and you kind of, especially Nick, like laughing because when I was watching, I wasn't laughing out loud.
Really? Oh my God.
It was good, but it wasn't like it was good. And I, the way Alexander delivered the lines, it was just brilliant. It was perfect, but it wasn't like, for me, it wasn't like fall off the chair funny. It was just witty and fun, but it wasn't, for me, I wasn't laughing out loud the whole time. Obviously the first line with the urine, that was hilarious. The bad for me, it's like, it's the second episode in a row that Derry is acting like a degen, right? Because and that's kind of, I'm thinking, is that really his character to be that? And I don't know that it is. And because that's, like,
I don't know if he's acting like a degen or if he's misinterpreting Alexander. I think he's just misunderstanding Alexander.
But we have our own opinions, right? It's just, I feel like Derry, unless he's a total dumbass,
but we know he's not that bright. Right?
Well, he's not that bright, but he's also not on a spectrum, or we assume. But I don't know. I just thought it was pretty harsh what he said to him, and it's okay because Alexander covered his, stood up for himself just fine, just like Gail could have in the previous episode. But I don't know. I just thought it's not Hick-like for him to have said that to Alexander, and he said it anyway, and he should know better. So, and then in the previous episode, when with that stupid false premise that we had at the beginning, where the whole idea was that, if you're in a relationship or seeing somebody, you shouldn't be, leaking nudes. And when we thought that was the premise, which it wasn't.
It was the premise.
Derry was the one that said, well, boys kind of saying that's not really that bad, boys will be boys, and that's again like, no, that's not boys will be boys. You don't do that.
I agree with you. In the last episode, Derry was being a bit of a degen for sure.
By the way, so it's 2 episodes in a row. I don't like that. that trend. So that's why for me, this cold open, I probably would have given it a clearance.
I agree with Casey. Best line there, Dick Bagshire. I love that. Tanya, what did you think of that cold open?
I agree with Victor. The best line in that one was the bladder infection means you're in trouble. I will use that because that is damn right hilarious. The references to people and I don't know who any of those people are. So
you're not supposed to know who they are. They're just hoity-toity names and hoity-toity places. That's all.
I thought they were like real people that were being referenced. And
as far as I know, they're not.
No. Some of them might have been.
Maybe. I think they're kind of references to like shows like your favorite. Was it Bridgerton? You know, just the names of like high
lords and high class people.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I assumed that it was all real, and I just didn't get it.
I did too.
I mean, again, I'm assuming that none. Like
you didn't look that up.
No, I didn't look any of them.
You have one job.
I bet you're an ass.
I don't think there's a Duke of Dick Bagshire. I mean, I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I
thought it was
pretty big.
I thought it was like the play on words, like last week's hockey menu theme.
Oh no, I understand. So I get why you might think it. I'm telling you that I don't think those names are real. I think they're just purposely meant to sound hoity-toity. There's
that's it's an opinion.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it is an opinion. You're right, but it's probably a correct one.
That's Victor's favorite line tonight.
Lord and Lady Sanders.
That is your opinion. But it was good. It's not their usual banter that because it was just mostly Alexander.
Which is perfect.
Giving it. But usually they have like a chorus where they jump from, Wayne says something and then Katie says something and then Derry. Like it wasn't their usual banter. It was just all Alexander giving the full.
And his voice just kept on getting higher and higher pitched, right? Like I was wondering how high he would be able to go. It was impressive.
I was waiting for Wayne though to do like a facial expression, or maybe I missed it when he wiped the ticket in his ass.
That was disgusting.
I was waiting for Wayne
crass.
to do something. Yeah.
Matt, what did you think?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You guys are not nearly as excited about this. As
No,
you should
I
be.
am totally excited. Go.
Oh my God.
I'm going to agree with everything you're saying.
Al, start the bracket over, bud. We have a fucking contender here.
Yeah.
This thing.
But I'm never doing that bracket again, ever.
Absolutely slayed. Alexander, and I know, I don't recall, someone mentioned it last week that just wait, Matt, because more Alexander's coming, and he came and he brought it, and I fucking love him to death. This whole scene, how it played out. Honestly, I can't, like, Wayne didn't even need to be there. He didn't need to be in the scene at all. It was brilliant. I thought his delivery of everything he'd said. You're right. The elevating voice, the play on the sort of royalty or whatever it was so good. He put Daryl in his place so hard, and watching Derry kind of cower away more and more, just trying desperately to escape the conversation because he realized he fucked up, was brilliant. Alexander, I'm so happy he came back and did this scene because it was everything he needed. Because we've always had this opinion of Alexander and how they portrayed him, and they gave him a chance here to strike, and he just delivered. So start the bracket over. This is a top 5 easy contender of all time cold opens. I fucking loved it. And you made one quick comment, which I'm going to expand on, about Dan. Dan didn't react to the scene. Dan broke. Trev broke.
Fully.
If you watch him, he laughed and tried to hide it with a beer, and that made me laugh even harder because I'm like,
I missed that.
Fully.
Genuinely, I'm glad you saw it, Nick, because he wasn't just like laughing what happened. He was genuinely trying to hold back his laughter at what McHenry had just done, and it just added and topped that whole scene off. In the best way. So I'm glad that they left that edit.
Yeah. Because I think it fit the scene anyway, right? So for sure. I love it.
So amazing.
Nick, what did you think of that cold open?
That's got to be my top.
Yeah.
Honestly, the top cold open over all these seasons so far. Like, and I totally get what y'all are saying about Derry being a degen, and it's really interesting because Alexander's kind of always been that character that, it wandered in, he wandered in and out of the series a little bit, but he was always someone who was kind of put upon by the rest of the town. Almost, it seemed like, you know what I mean? And like, it was really interesting to me to see like Derry, who always wears his barn clothes, who people always say smells like he's been working in a barn, all of these things, trying to be classist and saying something very classist towards Alexander. And Alexander was like, no, dude, you are so not better than me. Like, for real, like I'm going to put you in your place right now. And like some of the, like, oh my God, like the calling him the Duke of Dickbagshire, or asking if he was partying with the people from Cuntington Beach. Did anyone catch that?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I thought that was fucking hilarious. I watched that thing like 4 or 5 times. Like the first time I was laughing so hard I didn't hear anything, and then the second time I was listening and I was watching Dan in the background just lose his absolute gobsmacking shit over. It was so funny.
Yeah, he couldn't hold it together.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
All right. So I think we're pretty much, on the positive side of this, maybe some more than others, but we'll move on to scene 1 after the credits. The Hicks are sitting in the farmhouse kitchen. Katie admits to having always wanted a pair of Doc Martens. Too bad they're so expensive. They're interrupted by someone at the door who just walks in. It's Jiving Pete. None of the Hicks are too happy to see him. He greets all the Hicks, calling Derry Darnell. Pete's literally standing there with his hat in hand. He's come to apologize and to make a truce. Wayne has questions.
What the fuck's happened to you?
I think it all started when meth ripped through town in 2005.
Yeah, we lost a lot of good people there.
Lost a lot of good teeth.
Like, you're out sending naked pictures of your sweetie around town.
Sweetie's ambitious.
You're hanging out with dudes like Thibodeau, who abandoned dogs.
Yeah, you gotta tell Thibodeau not to give dogs human names.
And now you're out buying drugs from that new Jewish skid.
And that's just in the last few calendars weeks.
You hear that, Victor? They just tied up all the episodes so far this season. Katie also asks Pete if he's still honking and hollering at girls. Pete admits that old habits die hard. Wayne asks Pete if this is rock bottom. Pete admits to a period during a period he was hanging out with the Ginger and Boots. Derry reminds the others about the rumor that there might have been a third guy holding down the ostrich, allegedly.
Like, you used to be like a pretty good guy.
He was a real good guy.
He was a great guy.
But now, like, you're a degen.
I fell in with the wrong crowd.
You're going pretty easy on a pair of ostrich fuckers with wrong crowds there, buds.
Well, I'm done with them. I'm turning over a new leaf. Yous are my friends, and when a friend asks for help, you help them.
That's got to be one of the best lines of the episode. You're going really easy on a pair of ostrich fuckers there. This seems to calm the Hicks down a bit. Wayne asks Pete if he's looking for work. Pete says yes. Derry has too many hands as it is. Squid Ant says they're pinching pennies with winter coming. So it's up to Wayne and Katie. Wayne tells Pete if something comes along, he'll phone him up. Pete thanks them and leaves.
What a degen.
You want to know what? He's like a dog with his head out the window of a moving car and all this. Like, it's a lot of fun, but it's pretty dangerous, and the only way to stop him is to roll up the window on his fucking head.
Something outside the window catches Katie's eye. She gets up to see what it is. There are people at the end of their laneway, a photographer taking pictures of a happy-looking couple. Katie goes to investigate.
How are you now?
Oh, I see one. Listen, hi.
Hello?
Yeah, listen, don't mind us. I just love, all this.
Okay.
So listen, if we are bugging you at all, just let me know and we'll scoot, okay?
Okay.
All right, newlyweds to be. Let's hold hands, because we're in love, and let's just forget what was said at the previous location, okay? So when I say go, I want you to start slowly running down the road, okay? But you're looking back at me, all right? You're running into your future. Okay, go. Good. Oh, that's cute. I'm really low now. It's nice. Yeah, really great.
The photographer, who's played by Kayla Lorette, an award-winning Canadian actor from BC, points to their barn and asks Katie what's in the building. Katie says all sorts of stuff. The photographer is interested in dusty stuff and rusty stuff. Katie can confirm. The photographer asks if she can shoot in the barn. At first, Katie says no, but when the photographer offers her $50, Katie has a change of heart, and she thinks about those Doc Martens she really wants. So we cut to inside the barn. Katie shows the photographer and her subjects around.
What is this hotbed of Bohemia?
call it the murder barn.
Can I call it the murder barn? Listen.
Okay.
It's utopia, yet somehow dystopian. Fruitopian dystopia. Fallopian Europa. Do you know any sister wives? Listen, dusty stuff, rusty stuff, cobwebby corners. Is that a pile of sawdust with engine oil sprayed in it?
No, I think that's blood.
You can't get this kind of stuff in the city. Okay, firstly, listen. Thank you. And it's just this whole thing is so antiquated and old-timey. And secondly, I want to shoot some other clients in here.
I don't think so.
Another $50?
Dock clock.
Scene 2, Marianne and Lucienne are at the hockey rink celebrating the fact that they're the new head coaches of the regional AAA squad. Unfortunately, Betty Ann is still off playing ball. That means she's the actress McCormick is on that show League of Her Own, so she.
I love that they keep making references to it.
Yeah. Their conversation is interrupted by Sammy Joe Small, two-time Canadian hockey Olympic gold medalist and one-time silver medalist, and Tessa Bonham, who we've seen on the show before. Tessa is also a Canadian hockey Olympic gold medalist. She likes to remind Sammy Joe that she's never won a silver medal, though. As Sammy Joe and Tessa ask if Marianne and Lucienne are the new coaches. They are. Sammy Joe asks what they've won. Marianne informs him that they've won back-to-back-to-back ships as players, but nothing as coaches. They're rookie coaches. Tessa calls them schmelts. Tessa introduces the schmelt coaches to their cousins who are on the team, Raffaella and Donatella. Sammy Joe does the same. Her cousins are named Leonarda and Michelangelo. Sammy wants her cousins to be the next two-time Olympic gold hockey medalists and one silver, adds Tessa. Tessa wants her cousins to be the next Olympic hockey gold medalist, no silver. Sammy and Tessa tell Lucienne and Marianne that until they're confident they can get their cousins Olympic hockey ready, they're going to help them, but not by coaching, by hiring somebody who's won to teach them how to win. Not Shannon Zabos, not Natalie Spooner. Those two have won internationally, but they wanted someone who's won locally. So cue the coach's entrance.
Names?
Donatella, Raffaella.
Names?
Leonardo, Michelangelo.
Cowabunga. Get dressed.
Okay, can we just pause on that?
Yeah.
Cowabunga.
Yeah, of course.
Oh my God.
Well, that was such a long setup for such a, I mean, the joke itself was pretty obvious. Scene 3, back at Modine's, the McMurrays are at the bar having a drink when Katie saddles up and declares she's buying and flashes a $50 bill. Alexander asks anyone if they're looking for a sugar mama. McMurray thanks Katie and asks her what inspired her humanitarian effort. Katie tells him about the photographer who came up the laneway and offered $50 to take photos in the barn. Mrs. McMurray asks what's so good about their barn. Katie says the photographer really likes rusty stuff, dusty stuff, and cobwebby corners. Mrs. McMurray says that's every barn she's ever seen in her life.
Kind of a nutsack offers a 50 note for dusty stuff, rusty stuff, and cobwebby corners.
This nutsack.
Flutter me shudders, lensation sensations.
You guys will have to excuse me. I've never seen that guy before, and I wonder if he likes sex with girls.
Katie leaves to flirt with the guy who's taking a selfie at the table. The McMurrays start plotting. They've got dusty stuff, rusty stuff, and cobwebby corners. In fact, a lot of the dusty stuff has rusty stuff right on it. They decide to poach the photographer. Scene 4, the Hicks sit at the produce stand drinking and watching bewildered as a different photographer, played by Cara Duncan, a Canadian actress from Toronto, working at the end of the laneway with another newlywed couple.
Okay, listen, arms around each other. That's right, you're in love. Now, right to beat, bend your left knee behind you so your foot's in the air. Yeah, perfect. Give each other little pet kisses over and over. Okay. Now listen, right to beat, take a little nap on his shoulder there. Take a little nap on his back. Okay, just think like your Goldilocks and his shoulder is the bed that fits just right. You're like an action figure and a little dolly.
Oh, man. All right. Scene 5. Cut to the farmhouse kitchen. The phone rings. Katie answers. It's the first photographer. She's found a better place to shoot. Katie goes out to the produce stand to tell the Hicks. The photographer interrupts them to ask if they can take photos with their puppies. Wayne says, all right, but they smell like piss. Katie is pleased that she's back in business. Scene 6. At the hockey arena, Lucienne and Marianne are sitting on the bench, looking very annoyed while Coach paces behind them and gives them a little pep talk.
I can't imagine how you guys feel having a man mentor you on coaching women's hockey.
We could just tell you.
I can't imagine it feels good.
It doesn't.
That's why I'm glad it was me, you know, and not somebody you don't like.
Or respect.
Or respect. You got lucky.
We feel blessed.
You guys know girls as well as I do, right? Like, if you don't keep them focused, their mind just off, you know? It's like just Backstreet Boys and ponytails and Tamagotchis.
Ooh, boy.
Tamagotchi.
Coach is going to let Lucianne and Marianne in a little secret to keep players on their toes. Lucianne and Marianne say, kick a garbage can in unison. Coach scoffs at the idea. You can only launch projectiles with men. Marianne asks Coach to wrap up the talk. Coach says, looks like Lucianne and Marianne aren't interested in impressing Tessa and Sammy Joe. He calls for the Canadian hockey legends, but Lucianne and Marianne relent and begrudgingly ask him to continue. What do they need to keep their players on their toes?
Bench him.
Bench him.
Bench him.
Bench him?
Put him on the bench.
It's the first game of the season.
That's when you got to do. You got to get him early. You know, you got to let him know. First little lady that doesn't pick up her check on the way back, benched. You know, first little diva that doesn't want to go hard to the net, benched. And you better believe the first little lady who doesn't get pucks deep.
Bench him?
Benched.
So if we're not happy with a player's effort,
pack it.
If we don't like a player's attitude,
have a seat.
What if it's a bit of attitude after a bad bounce?
Sit down.
And this applies to the whole team?
Why do you think they make the bench so big?
What if it's the goalie?
Call a timeout. Bench her for it.
You sure this won't just piss him off?
It's hockey. You want them pissed off.
Lucianne and Marianne reluctantly agree. Coach asks them to get him a small coffee with 3 cream and 6 sugar, some fries with gravy on the side, and a Diet Cola as he walks away, leaving Lucianne and Marianne seething. Scene 7, back at the murder barn. The original photographer is back. The McMurrays may have better dusty stuff, rusty stuff, and cobwebby corners, but they don't have puppies. Occur. Next scene, the McMurrays are back at Modine's, drinking and cursing Katie for poaching their poached clientele. 2 wrongs don't make a right. That's what Mrs. McMurray always says. While all this is going on, there's a large group of young people sitting at a table taking selfies. Tassie and Cassie are among them. Bonnie asks Gail who they are.
Influenzas.
Huh?
Influenzas.
What?
Influenzas. They go place to place taking photos of themselves, posting them on the internet.
Influencers?
Thought I heard influenzas.
Same thing, really.
They're looking for the murder barn.
What's that?
They want to go take pictures of themselves with the dusty stuff, rusty stuff, cobwebby corners, and puppies.
The McMurrays see their opportunity. They jump from their bar stools and go over to the table full of influenzas. Cut to the McMurrays' barn, leading the influenzas into their barn, showing off all the dusty, rusty stuff and cobwebby corners. But the influenzas ask where the puppies are. They don't have puppies, but they have goats. This seems to satisfy the influenzas. Scene 9. Wayne, Derry, and Squirrely Dan arrive at the Dick Farm. They have a hankering for some summer sausage.
I empathize with your cravings. I gobbled sausage at lunch.
No, mine wife. Too much of one thing is ne'er a good thing. You got a banger in your mouth at breakfast as well.
I can't help it, Noah. Before warned, come supper time, I'll be begging you to pork me. Summer sausage and pepperettes are in the cooler by the produce stand. Keep them away from the children, though they do love their father's sausage.
Derry notices activity out in the Dick's field and asks them what's going on. Noah tells them a photographer from the city offered them $50 to take pictures while the Mennonites did chores in the background. And Anita yells out at the newlyweds that they must consummate the marriage. Noah says they'd be working anyway, so they might as well make money. Perhaps they can make money to help remedy their children's hearing, which has gotten quite poor, Squilly Dan says under his breath, generation after generation of inbreeding. Noah says the photographers keep coming one after another. They watch as one photographer instructs the young people to blow bubbles into the camera.
Oh, mine husband, it's been far too long since you blew in my face.
Fuck's sake.
Next scene, back in the farmhouse kitchen. The Hick boys are having charcuterie. Katie is upset. She can't compete with Mennonites. She's got dusty, rusty puppies, and she even has fucking goats. Derry said he heard the influenzas think the McMurray's goats are a bit too squirrely. Squirrely Dan takes exception to the comment. Katie says that's why she's advertising that hers are less squirrely than McMurray's, but the influenzas say they aren't squirrely enough. Just then the phone rings. Katie answers. It's McMurray. Her mood doesn't improve. She hangs up and announces that Dickens has thrown his hat into the ring, and he's advertising goats with temperaments somewhere in the middle of Katie's and McMurray's. He's calling it Honey Bunches of Goats, as opposed to McMurray's Show Goatin' or Katie's Murder She Goat on account of having the murder barn. So Squirrely Dan asks Katie what she's going to do. Katie says she's going to compete. She's got to figure out what influencers love and start advertising that. She's going to need some help. Wayne suggests she give Jiving Pete a call. He used to be a pretty good guy, and everyone deserves a second chance. So scene 11, cue the musical montage. Jiving Pete helping Katie, hanging a sign advertising fresh pressed juice with the use of the property. Cut to the McMurrays, who are advertising cold pressed juice. Back to Katie, who's hanging another sign advertising organic coconut water. Back to the McMurrays, who are advertising organic kombucha. Back to Katie, who's sunbathing while Pete hangs a wind chime on the produce stand. Cut to the McMurrays, who are hanging a larger wind chime. Back to the farm, where Pete's hanging a much larger wind chime, and so on and so forth. To the Dick's farm, where Dickens is watching the influencers play with the honey bunches of goats. And then to Katie in the murder barn, who's installed a mirror the influencers are using for pictures. Next scene, the Hicks are sitting at the produce stand watching the photographer work. Another couple making suggestions for them, jumping in unison and kicking their legs up. They're not doing it right, and the photographer makes them repeat the jump over and over again. The groom, who looks like a bigger version of Vin Diesel, doesn't seem to be enjoying himself, and the fact that the Hicks are just sitting there watching what's happening isn't improving his mood. The photographer changes her tact and suggests they try something different, like pretending to burst out laughing, but don't actually do it. Hold your faces before you laugh. The groom-to-be looks over at the Hicks and they all just shake their heads in disappointment. His dignity is finally saved when the photographer gets a phone call. She gets a tip of a better place to shoot in Donegal, so Letterkenny is now old news. Scene 13 at the hockey arena. Luciana and Marianne and Coach are behind the bench with their players. Coach refers to the star players as the Ninja Turtleettes. She suggests they should target them first to set an example for the rest of the players. Marianne doesn't think they should rattle their studs.
Do you want the world's most fearsome fighting team?
Yeah.
Then you bench them. All right, let me show you. Donatelli's.
It's Donatella.
What'd you have for your pregame meal? Let me guess. Pizza.
Spaghetti and meatballs.
Perfect, Donati.
Whole grain spaghetti?
No.
Oh, look, you just filled your tummy up with empty carbs, you dummy. Have a seat. You're benched. Next up, Rafaelis.
It's Rafaela.
Did you have your pregame nap?
29 minutes after lunch. At a girl, Raf.
Bad a girl, Raf. Your body puts on weight when you take in more calories than you burn off. By having a nap right after your meal, you robbed your body of the chance to burn calories, causing fat. What was your hero and a half-shell name again?
It's Rafael.
Benched!
Coach goes on to bench Leonardo for having pink tape on her stick, and also Michelangelo before Tessa and Sammy Joe step in to stop the madness.
Joke's over.
What joke?
Yeah, I was unaware there was a joke.
But you actually thought we'd hire this schmuck to mentor you two, and you got two-time Olympic gold medalist Sammy Joe Small standing right here?
And one silver.
I mean, he's only won one ship. Haven't you ladies gone...
Back to back to back, baby.
Like, come on. We have Olympic gold medalist Tessa Bonham right here.
No silver. Thanks for playing along. We really appreciate you.
Who was I playing along?
Just a little hazing is all. It's all good, you know?
Yeah, thanks for coming out. What was your name again?
Deflated, Coach asks what he's supposed to do. Luciana and Marianne seize the opportunity and they bench him. Final scene, back at Modine's, the McMurrays are drinking and licking their wounds. Katie joins them and offers to buy a round.
Well, what's Donegal have that we don't have anyway?
A craft brewery?
No.
They got a gin distillery too.
No.
Yeah, and that's not all. They've got a bison farm, a general store, and the kicker? Mexican Mennonites.
Those even exist?
Can confirm.
Exotic. Well, I won't miss them. All they ever drank was chamomile tea, and we give that away, so.
All they ever talked about was gummy vitamins and dry shampoo.
All while taking videos of themselves.
Yeah, I guess you gotta be kind of self-absorbed for that racket, eh?
You know, like who drives around from place to place taking pictures of themselves? And pull your finger out of your ass.
I said put your finger up my ass.
Your real job.
Bugger, though. I came up just short on a new pair of docs.
Just then, none other than Noah Dick walks into Modine's.
Noah Dick.
Gail, hello and to ye. You know, I've never been one to frequent your establishment, Not even once.
What brings you by, Noah?
I came to alert ye all that the makers of a pornographic film knocked on my door this day and asked if myself and mine wife would perform field chores in the background of their film, while in the foreground, 2 actors fornicated. I, of course, said, no way, Jose. So consider yourselves warned, there are some unsavory characters lurking about the community, but I banished them and their film.
Film.
You're welcome.
Noah leaves the McMurrays and Katie sitting at the bar, considering what they've just heard for a moment. Then they all jump up from their stools and run outside, calling out for Noah, telling them what kind of car was he driving, or what was his name, or what was his email address, and we fade to black. All right, that's the episode. That was a long one, so I apologize for the long read, but there was a lot there, and I guess I start. So I'm going to say this episode here was amazing. I fucking loved this episode. It was so much fun. I really enjoy when outsiders come into Letterkenny and these characters that we've grown to know so well have to react to that different behavior that they're not used to. It's always so much fun to see them go, like, look at them cross-eyed, like, what the hell are you doing? What are you saying? Why are you doing? What are you doing? It's so much fun to see that. And in this episode, we got a bunch of that. We got Alexander and we got the Dicks. I mean, what was there not to like in this episode? The whole thing was great. Tessa Bonham, Sammy Joe Small, Coach and Lucienne and Marianne. I mean, even the Beast story I found was a lot of fun. I really don't have any kind of issues with this episode. I thought it was just fun from beginning to end. Victor?
I have some thoughts.
Yeah.
So obviously there's a lot to unpack here. And like after the cold open, probably the scene I enjoyed, I don't know if it's a scene, but I guess the scenes that I enjoyed the most is with the coach. Even though it's kind of the B line, for me, that was the most enjoyable and really the only, aside from one line with the Dicks, it's really the only scene that kind of made me giggle. I thought all of it was entertaining.
Okay.
I don't think any of it was tremendously funny. I guess my issue with kind of this episode, and again, we'll unpack, is that the main premise of the show, I couldn't really connect to it. I didn't understand it. And that's why I watched it twice. Right. So I didn't understand why. So first of all, there seems to be this outbreak of photographers and wedding couples, newlyweds or to be, and separately unrelated influenzas. This outbreak of them, and I'm thinking. They're trying to now, towards the end of the show, trying to attract them. And I'm thinking, why don't you just get the pesticides and try to kind of disinfect?
Because they were making money. They were paying.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
She wanted some docs. Yeah, I get it. So anyway, so that's the one part. Like I couldn't
Victor,
connect with.
Go for a drive to Kleinburg, Ontario. And see that entire town is
Toronto
designed. So Kleinburg, Ontario, small town. Basically, the entire town is built around the wedding industry. It is designed. The front of every house has some kind of rustic wagon in front, so that wedding couples can take pictures in front of. It's where the doctor's house is.
Okay. I'm like,
our
damn,
friend's
that's
wedding.
familiar. Where the hell is that?
Like the whole town. It's a small town. It used to be like out in the country, but now like the city's grown so much.
I'm not challenging that. I'm just saying I'm
just trying to explain to you what.
That's fine. Your explanation isn't helping though, because what about the influenzas?
Well, influencers are everywhere. Victor, we spent a weekend in Sudbury taking pictures in front of the farmhouse. We were them.
We were the influenza.
We were the influenza.
No, because we didn't have the.
You're too close to it. You can't see it.
We didn't have the ochre girl. We didn't have.
No, we didn't have that. But you know what, Victor? We worked with somebody who spoke like that. Okay,
well,
you know we did.
Yes. Yeah, but anyway, so that's so that's the thing, and the main reason I watched it again, and you guys might think I'm stupid, I don't know, is I didn't understand the ending, and I still, after watching it the second time, I didn't understand the ending.
What do you mean?
And then I thought,
what element of it?
Yeah, and then I said, well, let me watch it again because clearly I wasn't paying attention or I missed something, and the punchline of
chasing the money.
Which
the porn.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about
Why
it?
did they get excited?
Because they wanted to make money. Noah.
Money and sex.
Somebody. Okay. So first of all, Letterkenny became passe as a place to go and take pictures at. So the influencers went away, but then Noah had a couple of had porn filmmakers come to them asking them if they can filmmakers offering money to shoot porn on their property with them in the background, just like the influencers. But because it was porn, Noah had a problem with that, so he sent them packing. But of course, Katie and the McMurrays would have zero problem with that, so they were like, "Wait a minute, we want them."
I guess I get it now, but watching it twice, I still needed you to explain that to me.
And you're the only one. Everyone else got it.
I don't like it. I don't like it. I give it.
You didn't get it?
No, I got it.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying.
Then you got it.
I don't know. I think she might be. I think she might be just saying that. But anyway.
And think of it this way. Like, I mean, this is something that happens every day, everywhere already. This episode was just focusing on them finally catching on to it and exploiting it for their own financial gain.
I guess.
And they made it a big joke around. But this
Victor,
happens everywhere.
Didn't you
see
say
people on the side of the road taking photos?
Sure.
Yeah. Didn't you say you watched Emily in Paris?
Me?
Yeah, I thought you said you watched that show, Emily in
I
Paris.
never watched Emily in Paris.
Okay. Watch it, then you'll understand what influencers are. Even though we were influencers.
I watched half of episode 1 when it came out because it got some buzz and I couldn't get through it and I turned it off.
Oh, it's too bad. You're missing out. It was
good. Dumb. It was a really, really dumb show. I kept saying, why the hell? What this doesn't make any sense. No normal person will do this. So
again,
whatever
you're out of touch, bud.
That's okay.
What did you think?
I'm okay with that.
Okay. What did you think of it?
I think I love listening to you and Victor go on. Anyways, I'm craving summer sausage. That's my first. I really am. It's been a long time since I've had some summer sausage. And Miss Dick, she reminded me it's been a long time, and I want to get some.
I'll take you up to the I'll take you up to Tangiers Mall, and you can get some summer sausage.
Short after show tonight,
folks. Oh my!
I told you she's letting us into her bedroom tonight.
Mrs. Dick, there, she is just wonderful. She is just so funny. I love how straight face she is, and her lines about having the sausage and she just makes me crack up.
The blow in my face line.
It's been a lot, and how she delivers that line, not just says it but delivers it, and it's been a long time since you blew in my face. It's hilarious. She is just hilarious. We had everybody again, another jam-packed episode with everybody coming in, plus the extras. I laughed when they referenced the murder barn because it was referenced as the murder barn to us as well. Yeah. So it was kind of a flashback into our kind of connection with.
And in hindsight now, I wish we would have pushed a little harder to get inside the barn to look around, because that looked like a really cool thing to go see. But anyway.
What you wanted to see the what was it now, the rusty dusty cobwebby corner?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, just jam packed. It was surprising to see Jiving Pete just coming into the house. We've never seen that before. Just somebody walking on in.
Well, he is a degen. He knocked, but he walked right in. That's probably a degen move. I think they would have appreciated it if he had waited outside first.
Yeah. We got Marianne and Lucianne and Coach and the McMurrays. And of course, Victor, come on. Why would the McMurrays pass up an opportunity to watch people having sex?
Yeah.
That's my point, but that's not why they chased after them.
Yes, it is.
That is definitely one of the reasons.
Yeah. For the McMurrays, it definitely probably was. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, for sure. For sure.
I guess the fact that it wasn't kind of I don't know. It just wasn't obvious to me exactly what the hell was going on, because I was trying to connect it to, wait, is this a callback? And I think that was the problem for me. I was trying to make a callback between this porn film to something that may have happened earlier in the episode. Yes, thank you. And I couldn't make that connection. So I thought for sure I missed something, and I watched it again, and I was looking for that, and it wasn't a callback. It was just, you were supposed to assume, they're doing it because they want to make money and they like sex.
Not assume. That's exactly why.
I don't know.
There's no assumption there.
It's weak and lazy.
We've had 11 seasons of episodes.
Weak and lazy.
No, not at all. Not at all. Oh, you're so wrong on this one. Where's this spatula? Jeez, you're so wrong.
Oh my gosh. The only thing that I could have shortened was the whole kind of the fresh pressed juice and the back and forth between them having a bigger wind chime and it went back and forth one too many times.
I liked it because it kind of showed Jiving Pete being helpful.
Oh, was that?
I think that was part of it. I think that was part of it was to show him trying to show that he's turned over a new leaf or something.
All right.
And
I'll buy it. What surprised me too, again, some surprises on this episode. The McMurrays have a barn. Like I remember them having a garage sale.
Well, they're all farmers.
And
they're all farmers.
Are they?
They're all part of the ag hall, the agricultural.
They're having sex too much to have a barn.
So
have you even watched the show at
no
all?
one says they're good farmers, but they're farmers. I mean,
they're called the Hicks.
But they went into a barn that was like horse stables.
And they're all members of the agricultural center. Like
he's actually tried to go become the president.
Yeah, he's the president of the ag hall. And
I just didn't envision them having a barn. Because of when we had the whole yard sale and we saw the front of the house, like there was no like shot of.
I'm sure this was kind of they just needed some townsfolk who also had barns to compete over the Influenzas, and the McMurrays made sense. Dickens made sense. Like. Yeah. Oh, and yeah, Dickens was in this too, even though it was like really brief. He was in there.
But he was in there in a field.
Well, he's an auctioneer. He's a cowboy, so he can have some goats.
He can have some horses.
Yeah, he's a member of the ag community.
Yeah, exactly. He's in the ag hall too. So, suck it, Victor. Matt.
Where's
sorry.
the
Were
sausage?
you done?
Go ahead.
Okay, Matt.
Kerr. So. I don't even know where to begin on this one. And I'm so mad at you, Victor, for not being excited about this, just like you weren't excited about the cold open.
Unbelievable.
Like, there's just so much. And the weird thing is, I don't even know where or what to talk about. There's so much happening. I will, out of the gate, I'll echo Al. I love the fact that you're spot on. The when they bring in outsiders and their reactive episodes do lead to some of the best moments. And this was a fantastic example of this.
Thinking about Jay Baruchel as the hard right Jay, coming into town.
Yeah, so many classic moments of them just interacting with people that are
the matchmaker,
not from around. And even my distaste for Sidiots, there was some good moments there too, right? It's there's some classic stuff. Sammy, Joe, and Tessa, love them. I love that they brought that in again and they put Coach in his place. That whole scene, because we haven't talked enough about that, but that how they presented all that kind of gave this, hook line and then pulled all the way. It was just, yes, go.
That, I feel like that might be our comeuppance. So remember back, I forget what season it is. Victor had a really, we all kind of thought it was just it left a bad taste in everyone's mouth, how badly the women's team got beaten by the men's team. Remember, I forget that's season 7.
Yeah.
Right? Like they were like destroyed. And I feel like this was kind of getting back at Coach for that. You know what I mean? That's how I kind of felt.
It's a good callback, and I liked how they did. The only thing I'll say about Coach though in this episode, I felt like it was an over exaggeration of even him.
You think so?
I enjoyed it, but I think he was extra Coach in this one.
I didn't get that.
Really? Oh no, it was over the top. I mean, like I said, I laughed. I thought it was great, and when they tied it all back to they were just fucking with them, it felt really good, but it felt very extra coachy.
No, it's the same Coach. It's just less of him because he lost weight.
Yeah,
that too.
Remember, this is a guy who says it's fucking embarrassing at the top of his lungs and kicks garbage cans, right?
I know, but I even wrote down in my notes that it was a caricature of himself almost to the degree
He was a
at which he was
docile
taking
Coach
things.
compared to what we normally get.
Victor, you're being benched by the people in the live stream.
Well, that's too bad because I'm going.
Oh man, sorry. Go on, Matt.
No, it's fine. I mean, there's just like I said, there's so much to unpack in this one. Very well rounded. I like that we saw so many different characters bringing so much to the table. I literally wrote stacked on this one.
Yeah, it was a stacked
this whole episode. The wordplay was so on point. They didn't I've talked about this many times. There's times when they push it too hard or they hang on to one joke too long. This was like a bunch of sampling bites of their best kind of work, and I really enjoyed how they played around the episode. So I don't know. I mean, I don't have like you. I have nothing bad to say about this. I genuinely enjoyed it. I watched it 3 or 4 times, and how often do I ever do my homework 3 or 4 times?
Yeah.
This one just brought such joy to me. The opening with Alexander was phenomenal. This left a really good feeling with me, and I'll watch this one again and again. It's fantastic.
Agreed. Yeah. Nick.
Yeah, I am totally in line with Matt, which sounds weird because a lot of times I'm not.
Really?
When I listen to your pod.
Who do you usually agree with?
Are you more in line with Victor? Because don't tell me that. That'll break my heart.
Sometimes I'm in line. It depends, but like I'm in line a lot with Al and with Tanya a lot.
Okay.
And so you're like third, and then
and then Victor's somewhere.
I'll take it. I'll take it, Nick.
Like I thought the episode was a fun like. I just got it because like this is Vegas and like that's influenzas are fucking everywhere here. And I swear
like
to God,
flu.
you can't walk. Yeah, you can't walk down the goddamn strip without people doing stupid TikTok videos or like on there, like taking doom. Like we have entire exhibits dedicated to people who can take so you can take your Instagram photo in front of like a beautiful like flower wall or whatever. Yeah. Everything in this town is designed so that people can take a picture or a video in front of it. And get in everyone's way.
Wow.
Oh, it's so annoying sometimes. But like it is one of my secret pleasures to like walk in the background of somebody doing those stupid videos and just look right on their phone. Oh, it's great. It's fantastic. And then like I'd never really thought about it, but this is kind of like a commentary on gentrification a little bit. Like I typically hear of that, like people like, like yuppies and hippies like taking over like urban centers, but you don't really hear about it people taking over like rural centers because like the whole influenza thing right now is like, very cozy, comfy, cottagecore, like that kind of stuff. And it was so hilarious that like the photographers, because I know photographers who are exactly like that. Like I've been on their photo shoots and they do have that, like they speak in this elevated register and everything needs to be very like, very upbeat and we need to do this. And they have like the dumbest ideas for photos and you look at them and you're like, do you really think that's going to be something they're looking at in 50 years? Like, really? Like for real? Like, put your head on his shoulder and you're like, this is the most dumb thing I've ever seen. Like, and then it's all over like Pinterest.
Yeah.
And like, that's where kind of everybody picked that up. And it's just like, ugh, I fucking hate it.
It's so true.
I thought Pinterest was for old people.
You flash me back to my wedding day. I remember the photographer asked me to look in the mirror, and my sister was ordered or directed to look over my shoulder into the mirror, and she's whispering in my ear, "Yeah, because we do this all the time." And she was killing me laughing. She's like, "When did we ever do this?"
How about shoving cake into each other's mouth?
Oh yeah, we did all that. Well, actually, we fed each other chicken McNuggets.
Yeah, we did.
Nice.
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
sounds about right.
I did.
It was a long day, and we got hungry, so we sent somebody from McDonald's.
I didn't schedule in food.
Like going back, did anyone notice that the only name Coach got right in the last scene was Michelangelo's?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, he was.
I just assumed it was wrong.
That's why they didn't correct him. They were just like, oh, you can even see it on like Betty Ann's face.
Yeah.
And she's just like, there's like a moment there where like her eyes sort of like, oh,
those scenes are great. Yeah. It was a lot of fun. Anything else?
I loved like all the background stuff, like all the hicks in the background eating these little tiny sausage sandwiches with their great big old man hands and just trying to like be as delicate as possible with these itty bitty little finger foods.
When Katie's in the kitchen and she's pissed off because she's lost the business, there's a charcuterie board on the table. What? The hicks are sitting there with crackers and meat, and they want to take a bite, but they're listening to Katie complain.
I missed
and
it.
When she's done complaining is when they take their bite, but they take the smallest, daintiest bite of their. It's hilarious.
Oh my God, I need to watch it again.
It's really funny.
Yeah. So funny side note that we're talking about background stuff. I forgot to bring this up. There was one thing I caught, the license plate of the first photographer. I assume this was a shot. It said LUN 840s, which to me translate as Alien 840s.
Oh,
right. Which I assume there's something there. Whether
so then it worked.
Yeah, alienated Victor for sure.
So
that explains it, Matt. Thank you.
Trying to decipher that one, but I'm like, to me, that felt like that was very intentional with that license plate. Yeah, just calling that one out too.
Yeah, I mean the whole point of them there is to make the Hicks uncomfortable and perplexed. And
Awesome just popped in there. Alien 840s.
Yeah, that's funny. All right, so we'll move on.
Was Nick done?
Nick, were you done?
Oh yeah.
Okay, let's move on to ratings then, and it's up to me again. I mean, again, I found nothing wrong with this episode. It was a lot of fun. It was a long episode in terms of scenes, as you could tell from my recap. And they brought so many people back. I mean, the only people we didn't see in this one, I think, were like Glenn and I can't even think of anyone else. Like
Skids.
Yeah, and the Skids. Yeah, you're right. The Skids were and
hockey
Riley and Jonesy.
Yeah.
But
they were very heavy in the first 3 episodes.
I really enjoyed the A storyline. I really enjoyed the B storyline. Almost equally, I enjoyed the 2 storylines. I thought they were really good. So this one here is an easy, fresh, and might be my favorite of this season. Victor? What do you think?
So I have different opinions.
You don't say.
No.
Yeah,
imagine that.
So first of all, Cold Open was good. It was okay. But Alexander is incredible, and everything he did in that Cold Open was just first class. It was brilliant. I like the B story better than the A story because of the license plate. And the only thing I didn't like about the B story is I thought the payoff wasn't as good as the entertainment we got from the story itself. It's just like maybe there's a comeuppance thing there, Al, but I don't even know if it's kind of warranted because it wasn't Coach's fault that the girls' team lost or got destroyed.
Oh, but remember, if you think back, it was Coach who was like laughing at the
that
idea the women
brutally.
Yeah, he was really brutal about it.
Yeah, he was brutal about it, but it was more kind of for me. When looking back on it, it just didn't make sense why they would write it that way. That's all.
Yeah,
because there was no payoff, and I feel like this is too far, too much, whatever, too little, too late kind of thing.
You could be right. I'm just to me, it was like, oh, that would have been nice if that was.
And
kind
it's
of
not like I feel
payback.
I don't feel bad for Coach that they did that to him because it's not like who cares, big deal. You got you got hazed by a couple of gold medalists. It's fine. I just feel like the payoff was just meh, but the meat of it was incredible, and I loved everything Coach did. I didn't think it was exaggerated at all. I thought it was spot on, and everything was just brilliant. Again, I enjoyed it from the hockey element, right? Because just everything was spot on and super meaningful. So I loved it. The A story, I already shared my feelings about it, that it was just, I don't know, for me, it's just, it's like, you've got an epidemic, you got to break out. This is not a good thing. You want to get them out of your town. And instead they were trying to attract them. So that just didn't work for me.
They wanted to make money.
The license. Yeah. Well, that's the other thing that with Katie, like, what the hell is going on? You can afford a stupid IKEA dresser, but you can't afford Doc Martens.
That's your comparison?
Yeah, I know. Right?
I don't know.
What?
Like,
have you been to IKEA?
No, I'm just saying, like it's like I'm sure you can go and buy yourself some shoes without having to sell yourself.
Doc Martens are expensive.
She's not selling herself.
like
She's selling a freaking barn to have photos in.
Doc Martens are
having a rough season, bud.
You can see that Katie doesn't spend a lot of money on her clothing because it's half off all the time.
Yeah, there you go. Anyway, so my rating for me is an easy clearance for this episode.
Victor, bench him.
Yeah, I know.
Bench.
Everyone's saying bench Victor, and
I'm going
10.
Oh my. Okay, so I already know what Victor's MVP is going to be, but we're not there yet, so that's fine.
I want your rating right now.
Give it to us before your pinched nerve gets the best.
Man, it really is. So there's just so much in this episode. And it's really hard to put it into categories of a storyline A and a storyline B, because there just seemed to be so much more going on, and apparently so much that I missed from what you guys are saying. The little sandwich, I'm like, there's little sandwiches in there?
No, they're crackers.
Or little crackers or whatever. And
it's really cute. Yeah.
I missed apparently so much and need to rewatch it again. But from what I caught on this round, I found it quite funny. Coach, I'm becoming quite concerned about him, and I'm worried about the man, and I think the town needs an intervention of some kind.
They need to break into his house and see if Barb's in there.
Yeah, something needs to happen. I'm quite concerned about that man at this point. We've had quite a few episodes on him, and he seems to be sinking lower and lower, and now he's just been trashed on by
I don't know. I think this one here was Coach back into his form. Like, I thought this was like kind of OG Coach. It wasn't pathetic Coach.
Imagine him with a few extra pounds and everything is all right.
Yeah. And everything's all right. I don't know. I'm getting concerned about him. But everything is just, it was so spot on. And I always love Marianne and Lucianne, and sad that Betty Ann hasn't made it back yet. But it's just great. I'm going to give it a fresh. Sorry.
I heard a clearance.
No,
sorry, a fresh.
I know. That was a really weird slip. Okay. Matt, what's your rating here?
Like, I knew you were wrong, but it was a weird slip. Oh man, this is a top 5 episode. This is it was near perfect from my perspective. Nothing I didn't like. I enjoyed the storylines, the characters, what happened, where we went. I just thank you for this one. This one's fantastic. It's a fresh all around.
Excellent. And Nick,
absolute top 100% fresh. Like, it's not a top 10. I would say like a MySpace top 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Like, for those of you old enough to remember the top 8.
Wow.
I still have a MySpace page. I just don't know how to access it.
It looks like RoboCop's Detroit.
I probably still do, yeah.
Yeah. But
great.
like, I totally thought the comeuppances, there were 2, right? Because like, first Derry gets his for trying to be classist to Alexander. And then Coach gets his because he's a flaming misogynist, right? And that's what happens when he's completely out of his element and he thinks that he's still king shit. And it's like, no, come on, man. Like, you have gold medal winners and a silver. And, people who went back to fucking back. So you know what?
Yeah.
Sit down.
Yeah,
like,
sit your
really.
ass down. That's funny. Excellent. All right. So we're going to move on to the MVP. And we'll play the game, even though Matt hates it. So it'll start with me. I'm going to give my runners up to Alexander. Fucking loved him in that cold open, and he was great in it. And the dicks, I'll give a second runner up to. But in this one here, my favorite was Coach. Coach was so those.
I'm sorry, you're giving 3 people now?
No.
Like, what's happening?
Just my runners up. Pay attention. We did this last week.
What?
Are we doing like gold, silver, bronze?
Runners up.
What's happening?
The MVP is
They're called honorable mentions.
Why are we mentioning honorables?
You don't have to. I like to. I like to give a lot of people some love.
Who's your MVP?
My number 1 is Coach. Let me finish.
Coach.
Jesus. Yes, Coach. Those scenes with Coach were hilarious. Brilliant. I loved them.
So you liked Coach in this
I liked Coach. I thought he was great. I thought he was the best part of this episode. Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Big statement.
Tanya.
It's not me. It's Victor.
No, we're skipping Victor until the end.
Oh, right. It's me.
Oh my God. I've got a pinched nerve now too.
Oh man. Hurts so good. Dick.
Okay, who's your MVP?
Dick. Dick.
Which one? Both
Mrs.
of them?
No, she's phenomenal. Anita Dick, so bad.
Okay.
She is lovely. I love it. She is just. I need a dick for sure. Hands down, hands on.
There'll be no
Lots
after
of
show
hands.
tonight, folks.
Summer sausage. Hilarious. I laugh so hard, and it's still funny to me. It's still funny. Crazy.
Yes, right off the rails. That's right, Casey. Matt, who's your MVP?
So Although I love the dicks, I really do. That's probably the element of the episode we talked least about tonight.
You're right,
which is very rare for a dick episode.
And I love how they're using the dicks now. Like, right? Because
I totally agree.
It's not the size; it's how you use them. Yeah.
No, it's how they're using the dicks now.
Before, right?
We have talked about that.
Yeah.
Because it's not a singled out episode on the dicks. The dicks are coming in here and there and everywhere. Like we got a little bit of dick here, right? And then at the end we got another dick, right?
Tanya just wants to be clipped for she just wants to be on next week's clip for YouTube.
There was an appropriate amount of dick.
Yeah.
There was.
All right.
You're so right, Matt.
So although I hear you, and they were used hard and strong and well, it's fine. That's
and
not
they just
my
slipped
MVP.
in and out so easily.
Oh my God.
They did. Actually, you're right. On several times, they pulled out at the right time, and then it was fantastic.
It was a bit flaccid at the end, though.
No, he came. He said what he needed to say.
Do you want me? I'm going to leave you guys alone.
He said it perfectly.
That was the winner right there. That was the winner.
Jesus
right there.
Christ!
And then he slipped out again, and then they all ran after him to get some more. Right?
Tanya, you win. You
sounds
win.
like sloppy seconds to me.
Absolutely win.
We still haven't heard who Matt's MVP
I'm
is.
so sorry.
Okay, that was fantastic. Thank you for that. It's a no-brainer. Can anyone guess? It's a no-brainer for me.
Alexander.
Thank you. It's Alexander.
Yeah.
That the man deserves it.
I'm gonna play MVP.
Oh
Matt.
my God, I love him. Honorable mentions though. I'll give my. We're playing this game too. The dicks for sure.
Too many
Always
games.
a winner. And know who we didn't talk about that needs a little more credit is the dude that was jumping by the mailbox on the last photographer when they kept saying,
"Oh yeah, that guy."
Oh my God! I watched that clip back 3 or 4 times just to watch him jump because it was making me laugh.
He was so
hard.
uncomfortable, and when he looked over at the Hicks and they just shook their head, you could tell that he was like being emasculated at that moment.
His
he was just
frustration with that whole situation. Oh, that scene didn't get any credit, and it should have because I loved it. But yeah.
If a photographer asked you to jump like that, like you would just say no, wouldn't you?
Probably, my knee hurts. Yeah,
No.
I would just say trick me.
So funny, really quick side story. I know we're going long here. Years ago, so my older brother, he hates stuff like photos. Like we've gotten like maybe 3 family photos in the history of our family because he refuses to be in them. And there was one time my parents convinced him to come to one of those grocery store photo centers and get a family photo. So we got him there. He's very pissed off about it, but he showed up, and like he's like 28 at this time, right? Like he's a grown ass man, and couldn't just suck it up for mom, and he showed up. And this photographer is, doing the standard photos, and then suddenly she says, "All right, Michael, is it? Can you come and lie on the floor right here?" The second she said that, he goes, "Fuck that," and stormed out, and we didn't see him again. He was gone. He's like, "This is why I don't come."
Oh man,
Nice.
Too funny.
All right, Nick, who's your MVP?
Alexander gets my gold medal.
All right.
That's got to be it. Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Honorable mentions, silver medal goes to Marianne and Lucianne.
Yes, they were fun.
I got up having to put up with
They were
Coach.
great.
Yeah, they were great.
The bronze got to go to Katie because I love a woman who wants dogs. I really do. Like, real.
But you
I
just
will
want to
say-
be that guy, so they can't be pink. They have to be black, classic black, right?
And excellent dick usage.
Yes,
like
yes.
dick usage was perfect.
Right?
And on.
Yes.
Beautiful.
It was on point.
All right. Yes. Okay. If you guys haven't already, and I know Matt, you won't anyway, but write down your guesses for Victor. Victor,
Yes, sir.
who and what is your MVP?
Yeah, so this one was tricky. And
Was it?
Nah.
it was tricky just because, I had to do a bit of a mash and bash on this one. And so do something a little bit creative. In a Riley Jonesy kind of style. And so just because
Dude, just come out with it.
just the theme of what was happening there. Yeah. So the theme is kind of consistent there. So for me, the MVP is Coach Alex. And the reason,
Alex.
yeah, Coach Alexander, Coach Alex. And because basically what's happening is is Derry is being coached by Alexander, and the coach is coaching the
Oh, I see what you
right. So the theme is the same. They're kind of, coach is being ridiculous.
Coaching is the theme? Is the win?
Yeah, coaching is a theme. But the thing is, so coach is being ridiculous, but everything he's saying is on point, because you totally should be benching hockey players that are not finishing their checks and are not doing the work in front of the net. So he's saying all the right things, but it's complete nonsense because he's not even really coaching. He's being set up. It's ridiculous.
So Casey in the live stream, is Victor fucking having a brain hematoma?
I think so. I think this time it's happening. All right.
Whereas Alexander's coaching Derry on how not to be a degen. So I don't know. So for me, Coach Alex, that's my MVP.
I took a wild stab and I said the murder barn because I was just thinking of something that wasn't a character in this episode, and I thought murder barn because it was brought up so many times, but I was wrong. Tan,
can you please explain what Victor just said?
You notice I just kind of left it alone.
What was his answer? Because I'm not sure.
Coach / Alex. Just move on.
Coach and Alex,
or Alex.
No, it's not. It's not. It's what they were.
It's
the act of the act they were performing.
Why is it that the show was confusing to you, but you just didn't confuse yourself right now?
I know. I don't get it. Okay, what did you?
I thought it was the license plate because he seemed to like it so much.
License plate, yeah, sure. Matt, did you have a guess?
Not a chance.
No. Nick, anything?
You're constant abstaining.
Oh, you're okay. You were almost there. You wrote coach. Yeah.
I wrote coach.
I think that's right.
Nick's the closest.
I think
you
that's
win
right.
as you were the closest.
Nick?
Yeah. You win. You win nothing, but you win. You win another appearance on this because you did an amazing job today, bud. But
thank you.
Before we go to final comments, though, I just have a few listener comments here. First, we have, I started listening to Protestant and was on season 2 on the podcast, and I just skipped to the newest episode of the podcast, and man, I felt like I spoiled the whole series of Letterkenny, even though I watched all of Letterkenny. That's from Casey. I'm a little confused. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but
Victor
thank you.
might be able to explain that
maybe
to us.
Victor can. Yeah. Anyway, Casey, thank you for listening, and maybe you listen to the other episodes if you want. Bunch of laugh out loud happy faces. I can't.
Emojis. Those are called emojis. I know that. I know.
I'm still cracking up at Sweaty Herd. Yes, I heard it too. This is why the team is so dang perfect, and that's from our friend Shannon Loves Horror. Yes. Sweaty Herd.
It made no sense at all. I listened back. I was upstairs at my house, and I listened to it. I died laughing. I'm like, that didn't make any sense at all.
It was great. YYZ Gord regarding our interview last week. Really great interview. So many great stories. Glad it's out in the wild for non-patrons to enjoy. Cannot wait for your next Shoresy guest before they start filming season 2. So I forgot to mention. Yeah, that was Harlan. That was Sanguinette's interview from that was posted last week. And tomorrow night we're being visited by Goody. Yes. So Andrew Ansonen is our guest tomorrow. So so those of you on Patreon, you'll be able to hear that right away. And a week later, you'll be able to hear us interview Goody on our regular feed. Okay, guys, I Protestant. Great 2 episodes. Sanger was awesome. The Dude North, we must have matching sense of humor because this latest episode was hilarious. You hit all the points. Rolled. Evan Stern was perfect in this episode. MVP. That's from our buddy Don. He agreed with my MVP. And at Protestant Pod, please, been waiting since the season dropped for your reaction to this episode. Just started it maybe Wine Wednesday. Oh, that was last week. But what about Shine Wednesday? Because she had whiskey or moonshine or something. Looking forward to hearing the rest of the episode.
Mondays.
That's from Cassidy Wrightson. So yes. Great. And then the news that we already talked about, Jess Salguero is going to be on the Frasier sequel series spin-off, whatever you want to call it. So that's exciting. And yeah, that's all the news and all the comments we have. So we're going to start with final comments, and it's up to me again. Nick, you were delightful. You were so much fun. And again, you're a very interesting dude. I want, I think we need to have more of you on so we can, hear like more Cirque du Soleil story or whatever you want. There's a lot of people here who think though your use of the contraction y'all means you're not from California. You must be from somewhere else.
I'm from everywhere, but I'm someone who's gender binary. So I'm out of the gender binary. So I tend to use words like y'all and folks.
Okay.
And
That makes sense.
just generally to refer to a group of people.
Yeah. So apologies for using the word dude there for a second.
No. I'm from California. So dude is everything.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Everything.
You're still good.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you, man. You did a great job tonight, and loved your insight and your opinions, and love that you're active on the Discord. So you've been a great addition to this community. So we appreciate you, Victor.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, well said, Al. Nick, you were really genuine and awesome. I think definitely there's we need to have more of you in the future, because I think there's some layers to peel there, and we probably will discover more interesting kind of insights about you and kind of your experiences and whatnot. So I think definitely we want to have you back for sure. And obviously, the other great thing is Winston and Tracer. So we want to have more of them.
The cats' names.
So love that, and just thank you so much for making the time with us tonight. You were really great.
10.
Yes, thank you so much, Nick. It was wonderful having you out here. I loved your stories. I loved your notes. I loved what you contributed to the group. And putting up with Victor and his shenanigans, and and listening to your kitty cats.
Yes.
It was a great episode, and looking forward to next week. What are we on now? We're on 5.
Next week is the final episode.
No,
season
shut
11.
up.
Yeah.
The last episode already?
Yep.
How did we do that?
Well, we did it quickly. Yeah.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Matt.
Yeah, I mean, I echo the panel. Nick, such a pleasure. You really brought it, kept Victor even honest. It's been it's so fun. I mean, I love that the communities grow. Welcome to the fam. It's make yourself at home. This place is so much fun.
Awesome. And Nick.
I just want to say thanks to everyone for being so welcoming, and Al for reaching out originally to get me on this, because I don't check the Patreon messages that often. So like I just happen to be on there. But I want to say to everyone that it's really hard to get tuna out of your dick hole.
Oh.
I love it. On that note, I'm going to play us off here with a song from today's episode. Fraud in the 80s by Mates of State. That's all we have for this episode. Next week, we recap and review the final episode of Season 11, D-Gens, with our buddy Jeff. Don't forget to give our sponsor, Diabolical Coffee, some love. They are at diabolicalcoffee.com right now. Use the promo code PRODUCESTAN for 20% off any purchase off their site. If you'd like to support the podcast, rate us on iTunes, Spotify, or become a patron. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at ProduceStandPod. Thank you for joining us. Now we're going to go take us a bunch of selfies at the after party with our new friend Nick. On behalf of Nick, Tanya, Matt, Victor, and myself, thank you for listening. Have a great week.